I'm very happy to be here this evening, especially after such a lovely introduction. The last time I came here to give a talk, I wasn't sure how I was being received until after I stepped down, and only then did people come up to me and ask questions. So I know that it is possible for you to ask questions from my last time here with you. And I hope that this evening you also have a lot of questions for me, because I prefer more audience participation. Now, I don't have very long with you, and I want to try to touch you. This is my intention. Whenever I give a Dharma talk, I want to try to touch people and inspire them and wake them up a little bit. So obviously, I want to talk about something important. And I hope that you will listen carefully so that you're able to tune in to me. Now, our lives in this world are very short. At the longest, we do not live here very long. So, while we have the opportunity to travel along the Dharma way, we should make good use of it. We should try to find out what is right and what is wrong, and harmonize ourselves as far as possible with what is right. This is not always easy, because we have our preferences, we have our habits and inclinations, and as you all know, it's much easier to do what is wrong than to do what is right. To do what is right, sometimes we have to try very hard. To do what is wrong is automatic. Everyone can do what is wrong. It doesn't require great intelligence. To do what is right, however, is not so easy, and very often we have to go against our old ingrained habits. So we need to be encouraged, we need to be inspired, we need to be supported by good friends who can advise us and show us the right way to go. It is easy to come across people who will give us bad advice and lead us the wrong way, but to have a good friend, a friend in Dharma, is not easy. If we have such a friend, then we are indeed very lucky. Now, one of the central themes of Buddhism, in fact, the thing that makes it quite different than other religions, is the doctrine of Anata, which is sometimes translated as no soul or no self. But I think it has more the meaning of non-independence. That is, we do not live alone and by ourselves, independent of others. We depend upon others so much. Now, on this way of finding out what is right and what is wrong, we very often get stuck on personality. And we often hear people say, I like this person, I don't like that person. Because of our tendencies to like and dislike people, it becomes an obstacle in finding out what is right and what is wrong. If we like somebody, we tend to believe whatever he says, whether it's right or wrong. If we do not like somebody, we tend to disbelieve what he says, no matter if it's right or wrong. We have to be on guard against this. We have to understand that right and wrong are not people, but things. And nobody is always right or always wrong. Now sometimes people ask me, how many disciples do you have? I say, none at all. I don't want disciples. Don't follow me. Because if you follow me and I go wrong, you'll also go wrong. We should be disciples of Dhamma, of what is right. Follow nobody. Follow what is right. Now I would like to read you something from what will be my next book. Please bear with me. It's called I Will Let You Down. We often hear people say things like, don't worry, I won't let you down. You can rely on me. But this is often just a prelude to doing the very thing that they say they won't do. This is not to imply that nobody keeps their word nowadays, because this is not so. There are still people to whom giving their word or making promises is something serious and important. But compared with those who think lightly of such things, they are in a minority, a small minority. Many of us think nothing of breaking our word when it is inconvenient for us to keep it. While we do not like others to let us down, we are often guilty of letting others down. I think this applies to most of us, no? Now, rather than saying to people who listen to me speak or read what I write, I won't let you down, I will say, on the contrary, I will let you down, in order to make it as clear as possible that if we are sincere in our pursuit of Dharma, we should be aware of the unreliability of personality, our own as well as that of others, and not use it as a foundation. We should realize that Dharma is impersonal. Personality cults abound and flourish in the world, from major religions like Christianity, with Jesus indispensably at the center, to small groups like that which gathered around David Koresh in Waco, Texas recently, and the stir amongst overseas Vietnamese Buddhists caused by the nun named Ching Hai. Some of you perhaps saw this nun who came to Malaysia, who sometimes dresses like a movie star and proclaims not only that she is a living Buddha, but that she is supreme and even higher than the founder of Buddhism himself, the historical Gautama Buddha. The gullibility of many people is truly marvelous. There is nothing so preposterous and foolish that some people won't eagerly accept and believe it. And though it is true that by closing their eyes and living in a dream, they derive a certain amount of comfort and assurance, they are eventually let down unless they die under their illusions and find themselves worse off than before, being older and less able to make a new start. We have come a long way since the time of the Buddha, and the movement that he started has been considerably corrupted and distorted, both from within and without. Just as Buddhism had a great impact on the religious life of India during the centuries of its ascendancy, so too it was greatly influenced by Hinduism during its period of affluence and decline, and was eventually swallowed up by it, so that what we have today is a mixture of what the Buddha taught, Hindu influence, and the cultural barnacles that stuck to it as it spread outwards from the land of its birth. This is clearly seen in the role of priest that Buddhist monks have taken upon themselves. Unknowingly in most cases, it must be said, but nonetheless that is the role that many have taken, and the ceremonies they perform, together with what the Buddha termed low arts, like palmistry, astrology, geomancy, and other forms of divination, which he forbade his monks to engage in, as such practices attract people for the wrong reasons. Today, far more monks are involved in such things than in propagating the Dhamma. So much so that it is commonly expected of monks that they tell fortunes and calculate or predict lucky days. Given the propensity of people to fall at the feet of saviour figures, it seems that the simple and clear message of the Buddha to be an island, a lamp, a refuge unto yourselves will never be widely accepted. But even so, there are always some people who will rejoice in hearing this clarion call to develop self-reliance and throw off the chains of psychological dependence upon others. If it is only for the few, so be it. The fact that it might not be accepted by the majority of people does not invalidate it. Though I will try not to deliberately let anyone down, the nature of personality makes it likely that I will do so in one way or another. Therefore, I will warn people about this first, so that they will be able to listen to what I say without attaching much importance to me personally, either negatively or positively, and will not be too disappointed when I unintentionally and inevitably let them down. I feel that what I write and talk about can or should be able to stand on its own and not upon my personality. This is because I take seriously the Buddha's advice to test his teachings as a goldsmith would test gold, instead of merely believing. If this applies to his teachings, how much more does it apply to my mumblings? I have stuck my neck out to say this, not just about myself, but about anyone and everyone. What we should be looking for is not a person, but the unshakable facts of life that do not change and which will not let us down. And if I have pointed my finger at anyone in this or other writings, I have done it not with the desire to camouflage myself or distract attention away from my own numerous shortcomings or gloss over my faults, like a thief who is being pursued might shout, "Stop, thief," in order to create the impression amongst bystanders that he is one of the pursuers rather than the pursued, but to indicate something more firm and true than personality. It is a commonly held opinion that unless a person is enlightened himself, he is not in a position to help anyone else become enlightened. But I do not share this view. It would be much like someone seeing someone else injured and bleeding and saying to him, "I'm sorry, I would like to help you, but I'm not a doctor." Every mother, and most other people for that matter, knows what it is to treat minor injuries. There is no need to go to a doctor for every little wound or pain. Likewise, we all have the capacity, in varying degrees, to assist others along the way. We don't have to be a fully enlightened Buddha for that. And in so doing, we express the enlightenment that we already have, in whatever small amount, and thereby increase it. If we were to hold back and refuse to help until we were fully enlightened, nobody, including ourselves, would get any help at all. Now, a lot of Buddhists, lay Buddhists, appear to think that Dhamma is only for monks or other people who stay in the temples, and that their job is to support the monks and make merit in that way. They don't think the Dharma is really something to live by in daily life. But again, I do not agree with this view. Dharma is for everybody, and everyone can benefit from it, inasmuch as they apply it. Dharma is like a force or a power that we can plug into, like we plug into the electrical socket. I don't know if any of you have seen these, I suppose you have, seen these Star Wars movies. Have you seen them? These are very good movies. They're Buddhist movies, really. They talk about the Force. And the Force has a positive side and a negative side, a good side and a dark side. So we decide as Buddhists to use the good force, to harmonize ourselves with the good force, to work with it, to plug into it. And the Dharma is really a very, very powerful thing. If we are able to tap in or plug into Dharma, it can even bring about physical healing. In 1991, when I was here, going around giving talks, I had so many invitations to speak in so many places, some of which I'd never even heard of before, that I overdid myself, and I got sick. I got a cough which didn't get better. It got worse until it became pneumonia, and I nearly died. One time when I was in Malta, I was due to give a talk somewhere there, and someone came to take me to it. When he got to where I was staying, I was in such a bad way, coughing so hard that I was almost falling down. He said, "You cannot go, you've got to cancel." I said, "I'm going. Even if I die, I'm going." Because I had been to this group before, and I knew them as a receptive group. So I went. And almost as soon as I got in the door, my coughing stopped. And halfway through my talk, I realized I'm feeling great. And I told the people this also. And the person who had taken me, afterwards he said, "I couldn't believe it, before and afterwards." I said, "This is the power of the Dhamma. It can bring about physical healing." And one time, the Buddha himself was sick with a headache or something, fever. And he asked Sariputra to preach Dharma to him, his own Dharma. And when Sariputra preached Dharma to the Buddha recovered. It's very interesting. So if we develop joy in Dharma, we have a very, very potent force in our lives, mentally and physically. Now one time, the Buddha's son, Rahula, was following the Buddha on his arms round. And he started to think, the form, the body of my father is very wonderful. So majestic, so glorious. He is my father. I am his son. And the Buddha detected Rahula's thoughts and said to him, "Rahula, do not think like this. This body is impermanent. Do not become attached to form. It will let you down. It will not carry you over to the other shore. And he said, if a person were to follow after me, holding the edge of my robe for 100 years, but with a mind still victim to the three poisons of greed, hatred, and delusion, he would never see me. But if another person, living far away from me, has a mind free from the three poisons of lobha, dosa, moha, he would see me all the time. He who sees Dhamma sees the Buddha. Meaning that the Buddha is not the body, is not the form. The Buddha is Dhamma. And in this way, we can still see the Buddha today if we understand about Dhamma. So please, be very careful. Truth or Dhamma is not a person. If you pray to Dhamma, you will get no answer. It's useless to pray to the Dhamma. We practice Dhamma, we try to live by Dhamma, we try to experience and realize Dhamma, not to pray to it. Like you pray to a person or a God. It's not like that. So it is most important to find joy in Dhamma, in our hearts. We know that it works. And when we know by ourselves that the Dhamma works, then arises saddha, or faith. Faith in the sense of confidence. Now, there is a big difference between belief and faith. Actually, a Buddhist has very little use for belief. It is regarded actually as an obstacle. We are not encouraged to believe. We are encouraged to doubt and to question and to find out for ourselves. So belief is not important, but faith is. Now, what is the difference between belief and faith? I thought of a way of explaining it to a Christian, like this. Ask a Christian, do you believe in Satan? And what do you think they would say? Yes, probably they would say. Satan as a person, yes, I believe in Satan. So, do you have faith in Satan? That is something different. No. We believe in Satan, but we do not have faith in Satan. You see? Then you ask them again, have you seen Satan? Do you know Satan? No. They only believe. So actually, we believe when we do not know. And when we know, we don't believe anymore. Now, how do you know that sugar is sweet? Because someone told you? Or because you read it in a book? How do you know that sugar is sweet? Do you believe that sugar is sweet? Or do you know that sugar is sweet? And how do you know? By tasting it. Likewise, said the Buddha, we must experience Dhamma ourselves. There is no substitute for direct personal experience. We must know it, not just believe. And then, when we know it, when we've had some experience of it, when we've tested it and verified it, then arises faith. I know that this works. Faith arises from knowledge or from experience. Then, this encourages us to go on, to advance further along the way, based upon faith. So faith is very important. Something else that is very important is merit. But this is something that a lot of people misunderstand. And a lot of people deliberately go out to make merit, to buy merit, thinking so much about merit, instead of understanding that merit is the result of our actions done from understanding that this is the right thing to do. So this comes from inside. It is not something that we can buy with donations or calculate or manipulate. It is the result of our actions done with understanding, with faith. Very often, when people go out to deliberately chokong tek or make merit, they rob themselves by thinking so much about it. It's like planting seeds in the garden, and every day or so you go and dig them up to see how well they're growing. They will not grow well like that. We should be happy that we have the opportunity to do what is right, and to do it, and then forget about it. Don't think any more about it. You've done it. That's not your concern anymore. And the most important Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, teaches renounce the fruits of action. Don't be concerned about the result. That is not your affair. Your affair is only the action, doing what is right. Don't care about the result. Leave it to itself. And if you do like this, the law of karma will not cheat you. You don't have to keep reminding the law of karma, hey, don't forget what I've done before. Don't cheat me. It will not cheat you. Do what needs to be done without thinking of the result, and go on to do something else. We've no time really worrying about the results. We've only time to do what is right, and to be happy that we have the opportunity and the capacity to do this. When we begin to think of how much we benefit from other people, how many people are working for us every day just so that we can survive, the natural reaction or response to this is to want to put something back. What we can put back into life, what we can give, is really very little compared with everything that we get out of life. We cannot put very much back into life compared with what we get. But we must put something. Otherwise, we shall get deeper and deeper into debt. So it should be our joy to think of putting something back, of contributing something in a way that will make this world a better place. Because each one of us, moment by moment, is changing this world. What we are doing now, what we're doing at any time, is changing the world and making it either better or worse. So when we understand about this, we begin to want to change it consciously for the better. And with the Dhamma, we have a very potent means to do this. Now, it doesn't mean to say that we have to go running around and catching hold of people and saying, hey, let me help you. People would think we're mad if we did that. It means we just have to be aware of the opportunities that daily life presents us with. And we all have opportunities in many ways. The way in which you earn your living is one opportunity to change the world. If you see your work only as a way of earning money, then you are neglecting the opportunity. But if you see your work, whatever it is, as long as it's not harmful, as a way of serving others, as a way of contributing, then it becomes a Dharma activity. So you see, it's not something apart from daily life. It is something very, very much concerned with daily living. The Dharma is life itself, and life goes on 24 hours a day, within us and without us. We are this world. We're not separate from this world. We are part of it. We cannot renounce the world. We cannot leave the world, go away and leave it all behind. It's not possible. We are the world. So we should enter consciously into living as parts of this world, because what we're doing is changing the world. We cannot get away from it. So rather than hating the world, we have to love the world and try to make it a bit better. That is the purpose of the Dhamma, because we're not living only for ourselves. It's impossible. Now, as we go, we're going to make many mistakes. We're going to fall down and fail many times. I'm sure you've experienced this already. And when we make mistakes in our Dhamma practice, we don't feel good. We feel bad. We sometimes feel, I'm the worst person in the world. How can I do such a thing? It's hopeless. I'm never going to get anywhere. But this is not true. The way by which humanity collectively has reached the present has not been an easy way. We have suffered, we have struggled, we've sometimes gone backwards, we've done many bad things and made many mistakes, but it has all brought us to the present. And slowly and with great difficulty, I think we're going in the right direction. There are still many terrible things in the world, but slowly I think we're going in the right direction. We know what is right and what is wrong, even if we don't always follow what is right. Everyone knows what is right and what is wrong. Even a thief knows what is right, even if he doesn't follow it. When he steals, he thinks it's good because he gains something that he didn't have before. But still, he knows that it's not right. He thinks it's good, but he knows that it's not right. And why do I say that he knows it's not right? Because if someone were to steal his property, he wouldn't be happy. He would say, it's very bad. So he knows what is right even when he does what is wrong. We also know what is right. There's a little story concerning this about a man who went to a teacher and asked to be taught about the way to truth. And the master said to him, well, go out and steal and cheat and lie and deceive, but don't get caught and you'll be all right. And the man was shocked and went away feeling very disappointed. After some months, the master said to his disciples, you remember that man who came here some time ago asking about the way to truth? Yes. Have you heard anything about him? Oh yes. He's living not far away, leading a very good life. But he's telling everyone that you are a demon who tried to mislead him. And the master laughed and said, if I had told him what he wanted to know, he wouldn't have listened, because he's known it all his life. Instead, I chose to help him to find it himself. You know, very often, when I've explained to someone about Dhamma in a simple way, people have said, is that what it's all about? It's so easy. I've known this for many years. Yes, people know it, but we don't always live by it. The golden rule, which is found in all religions in different forms, is nothing new. Everyone knows it. Do unto others as you would like others to do to you. Or, putting it negatively, do not do to others what you do not like others to do to you. Who doesn't know this? Who's never heard this? Everybody's heard it, but very few people practice it. Why? Why do we not practice this? Why do we persist in living in ignorance? It's very strange. Wisdom is not something rare that is available only to very few people. The world's wisdom is available to everyone today in amounts that are inconceivable. The wisdom of the world's cultures is available to us in our own language. We do not have to learn another language in order to make use of the wisdom of the world. It's there, available to everyone, all around us. But we're living in ignorance. Why? It's like we're standing up to our neck in water and still saying, oh, I'm thirsty. Give me some water. The water is there. Why do we not make use of it? It's very strange. And so we suffer because we're ignorant and blind. Not because we're bad. I don't think there are many bad people in the world. Most people want to be good. Nobody wants to be bad. But not many people know how to be good. They think it's only for special people instead of for them. So they don't make an effort to tune into it, to move in the right direction. They want someone to save them. Help me, save me. Jesus, God, Buddha, Kuan Yin, or whoever, help me and save me. I'm weak, I am a sinner, I'm bad, I'm wicked. Instead of standing on their own 2 feet and following the way themselves. It's quite amazing. Can anyone eat for us? If you tell me you're hungry, and I say to you, oh, don't worry, no problem. I will eat 2 times, one for me and one for you. Will you be full? Can you be filled? If someone else says he will eat for you, it's not possible. Nobody can live our lives for us. No one can take the results of our karma upon him. No one can die for us. We ourselves must do these things. We perform the action, we get the result. It's not possible to transfer the results of our actions to another person. Imagine if it were possible to transfer all our sins and evil karma to somebody else. How happy Saddam Hussein would be to transfer all his bad karma to George Bush. For example, we can transfer our evil karma to our enemies. Let them do it. The more we will do plenty. Transfer it all. Not possible. We do the action, we get the result. Nobody else. So, if we want to do something bad, go ahead and do it with your eyes wide open, prepared to accept the consequences if and when they arise, without complaining and saying, oh, why me? I've done so many good things. Why is this happening to me? Why is it not happening to somebody else? Very often we think like this. I had a letter from a friend in Manila last week, and he was telling me somebody had cheated him of $45,000. He said, why me? I haven't done anything bad. I've only done good. Why is this happening to me? I wrote back to him, and he'd been asking me about Sai Baba. So I told him, Sai Baba strongly discourages changing money on the black market. And that is what my friend is doing. That's how he got his $45,000, changing money on the black market. I didn't tell him that I thought it was bad. Actually, I do the same thing myself when I'm in India. I change money on the black market because it's such a hassle going to the bank. I don't really feel bad about it, but Sai Baba condemns it. So I told my friend about this. Nobody is completely innocent. Nobody. We talk about the innocence of little children. But this is not true. We can observe in little babies how they very early develop various tendencies and how jealous they can be towards others. We come into this world with lots of mental formations, habits and tendencies, preferences, likes and dislikes. We cannot explain why, but we can see in children of the same family who are brought up in the same environment with the same care and attention from their parents, that they will develop different likes and dislikes. Some will like this, others will like that. Nobody will like all the same things. Why? Have you observed this in small children? No. We are not born into this world innocent, with a blank mind. We bring with us many things into life, stretching back very, very far. Nobody is innocent. So, if something unfortunate happens to us, we should be sufficiently mature to say, I don't know why this is happening to me, and I don't like it, but it is the reality of the moment, and I accept it. Because only by accepting it as it is, without complaining and blaming others, shall we be able to do something with it, to change it. And if we are intelligent and understand things and look at it in this way, we may be able to change black into white. It's possible. It depends how we look at it. With wisdom, we can change black into white. We can become magicians. Now you know the symbol of the yin and yang, like a black fish and a white fish swimming together. The white fish has a black eye. The black fish has a white eye. Now I prefer to talk about the black fish, because a lot of people concentrate on their misfortunes and they forget that the black fish has a white eye. So I like to point out the white in the black. In the black there is some white. In the wrong there is some right. In the dark there is some light. In the blind there is some sight. We must always remember the white eye of the black fish, because this will enable us to turn our problems round and look at them in a different way and make something positive of them. Now we can know positive only because of negative. We can know white only because of black. We can know good only because of bad. We can know right only because of wrong. We can know nirvana only because of samsara. We can know wisdom only because of ignorance. We can know success only because of failure. So you see, even our failures have something good about them. They help us to understand success. If we succeeded immediately every time we tried something, what value would success have? Nothing. It would be vyasa, nothing special. But because